We are live. This is the market update. I am your host, Bill Noble. Can XRP go any higher, or is it over? If you stay tuned through the rest of this video, I have a PowerPoint presentation that will give you guidance as to whether or not XRP can continue. Is Solana next? What is next? What coins are going to take off? If you stay here, I will tell you. And because I'm a nice guy, I'm going to share a sample of the type of tactical day trading programs that I give Patreon Platinum. And we will be discussing in the YouTube member podcast tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern. As one of my favorite guys go, big show, big show. Okay. So Patreon Platinum is loaded up, and needless to say, I got XRP right. So, it's a mini victory lap for all my guys and gals, the Spartans in Patreon and the ninjas over in the YouTube member area. But this is not over. This is not over. We're going to go over some Gann work in the PowerPoint where the Gann work comes together to make the day trading plan. What's the payoff? You're going to have to see. Plus, we're going to do live TA, altcoin overtime, the works. Now, let's begin with some politics. The orange man has now got a medical condition that I believe is going to allow them to backtrack from this catastrophic statement where he said, I don't need your support, to his giant base that would turn out in huge crowds to see him. The good news for us is that he is going to get the win, and that all of these bills are going to pass because both sides of the aisle, both parties have figured out that they need the crypto bro vote. Matter of fact, this could be a huge pivot for the Democratic Party because they're trying to get that vote as well. Now, one of the most seemingly not talked about stories is that, according to the rumor, U.S. Marshals are reporting that the United States has a lot less Bitcoin than was previously thought. That effectively makes one of the biggest debtor nations on the planet short Bitcoin. And now you know why Bitcoin didn't move between, say, 88 and 105, because that was probably Uncle Sam distributing the Bitcoin to Michael Saylor for whatever reason. For whatever reason, I just don't know. I can't imagine why. Either that or it was the previous administration. Either way, the country that needs to own Bitcoin the most does not own Bitcoin. And this metaphor carries out through altcoins. Everybody tried to tell me XRP was done. Everybody took profits at 280. Everybody thought it was over. Why? Because it traded quietly, the same way ETH has traded historically. Now, XRP is an absolute freight train. We're going to go over what it means at $3.50, whether or not that's it or whether or not it can continue. Altcoins have been suppressed for a very long time, and a hint when we go to the Gann work in the PowerPoint is that the suppression is over, and so is the liquidity. In other words, there is no liquidity in any big altcoin as far as I'm concerned. BlackRock is hoovering up all the Ethereum, right? So the Ethereum Foundation is the seller, and every big mutual fund on the planet is the buyer, particularly with equities about to go sideways, and I can prove that. The best case scenario for stocks is sideways. Now, I could start talking about the crypto equities, but I'm doing crypto equities for Patreon later today or tomorrow. Crypto equities with a stable stock market. With the stable stock market, if we don't have a tariff nonsense or a geopolitical situation, crypto equities can go massively higher and actually lead crypto. Most crypto narratives, DeFi with AI. I got an article about it today. CoinDesk has discovered it. Most meme coins have not been traded. Neither has AI. So we have all of these sectors inside crypto that can start popping off at any moment. And this XRP made in America crypto trade, particularly if he does like a transaction tax thing with either all crypto or USA cryptos, you have the recipe for a parabolic. You have the recipe for crazy banana pants. The only thing, in my opinion, that can stop this market is another geopolitical event, right? Because those things are possible, because I think we all know, if anybody who's been keeping up with political news, that there's a certain group out there that's got a huge amount of influence. It is what it is. So if there's a geopolitical event, that probably creates a correction. Stocks appear to be immune to whatever tariff noise that there is. You know, normally that tariff noise stops Bitcoin. And on that note, I think Bitcoin's going to have a really hard time sustaining itself above 120. I mean, it is obvious from like an alt season point of view that people are coming out of Bitcoin and into the big altcoins. As a matter of fact, I mean, when you see the chart of total 3, because I have been pounding the table on this special formation, which is coming up in altcoin overtime. I mean, you're not going to believe it. You're not going to believe the upside in altcoins in general, mainly because, again, A, they've been suppressed, and B, they've underperformed Bitcoin mysteriously for an extended period of time. An extended period of time. So everyone's like, well, the market rallied for 5 days. I guess you take profits. I'm done. I'm like, wait a minute. Whoa. I mean, in the case of ETH, we're talking about years of underperformance. Solana hasn't done anything in a year, hasn't even really rallied in this particular case. Avalanche is on the books of World Liberty, right? There's SEI on the books of World Liberty. SUI is a freight train. And we have it. It's like nobody has even discussed. I'm going to be working this up. I want to work it up tomorrow for the YouTube member podcast. And I'm definitely working it up for Patreon. Where's the cross-chain and interoperability narrative? You have multiple chains mooning at the same time. We haven't seen that. I don't know when. Back in 2024. And that rally was such a flash in the pan. That was a great rally, right? But this has the gradually, then suddenly. And really, what's the only suddenly we had? We had 110 to 125 in Bitcoin. Oh, okay. Well, that's gradually, then suddenly for Bitcoin. You know, and we had XRP move from 285 to 350. Now we'll look at the charts, but you know what my attitude is? And you know what my attitude is, because I've been telling Patreon, Toby's been telling the YouTube members. So what? So XRP's at 350. I got some ridiculous thing in here. Well, you know, XRP market cap is, I don't know, $200 billion. You got to be kidding me. $200 billion. It should be at $1 trillion. You know, the hyperbole of the XRP YouTube community about, you know, massively higher prices, $589 or whatever, right? The number is $1 trillion because it's money. It's money. It's a payment system. They got a company behind it. You've heard this from me. But now the market is trading it, right? These things, you know, they don't matter to the market until they do. Right? Sometimes you just need a catalyst for everybody to just wake up. I mean, the fact that I'm breaking my microphone, right? You know, I got all my guys and gals ready. But the fact I'm breaking my microphone, pounding the table on this for like, I don't know, it feels like months. Feels like months. It's definitely weeks. So, I mean, you have catalysts that haven't been traded. Okay. You got a debtor nation short Bitcoin. You also got this debtor nation that, you know, I'm not sure who's control. I know who's in charge, but I don't know who has influence on him. Seriously. So, you know, does that make you want to own fiat? Not really. It makes me want to build a parallel system, because no matter how you look at it, whatever they told you they were going to do outside of this crypto act, I don't know if they've done it. They haven't done it to the point where, you know, the Orange Man supporters are losing their mind. And people are, you know, this end the Fed thing, you know, with either Powell leaving, Rand Paul is talking about how, you know, the Federal Reserve effectively is paying out huge amounts of interest to banks who are dropping their money inside the Fed. The Fed's a bank. You can make a deposit. The Fed is paying out effectively bank welfare. Grandpa Keeter, bro, with the $50 super chat. He says, Bill, I have been waiting 6 months for this week. My bags are stuffed. Your team is great. And I signed up for all subscriptions, and it's less than almost all KOLs. Dude, we have a $25 plan, a $50 plan, and an $88 plan. And you can, if you bought all of them, it's still less than what other people are charging. We have to diversify, and I want the little guy to have something. We have, YouTube member is small caps and the psychic, right? Patreon is very tactical, right? Specific large cap sector reports, trading, etc. YouTube member VIP is Raw Bill. Sorry about the third person, the 6th Street podcast. Give it to you quick and dirty and say everything I can't say on YouTube. So my members are super chatting me, and in many ways, that is the sales pitch. That is the sales pitch. Okay, we have Bull Runner here, Gavin Busby, banging away with those emojis that you can get for $4. Welcome. Miklo, Brandon, Miklo, a heavy engager with our content. Thank you. Hal Lopez, up in the middle of the night in Portugal. Dude, right? Livid, GF, D-Gen Joe, a member for 6 months. Welcome. Daniel J. from the shore. Union Crypto. T-Bone. God. T-Bone, we're getting you out of your day job, bro. We're getting you out. Union Crypto. Live it. The great Santini. Welcome to the show. Yav is here. Jesus X Vlog. Where Bill? Right here, man. Right here. Caminilla, a member. JB. Ricky Ricardo. Donato, what's up? Hot Mess Express. Loyal members. Tyler, a new member. Welcome. Forget about it. Patriot Caveman. Requiem. Havoc. What's up? By the way, don't forget to stay tuned for the PowerPoint. Wow, we got a packed house here. Bizan, Crypto Guy, Pag Voop. The green button is here. The green button is here. Okay. Things we got to break down so we can understand what is happening. Orange Man, sick, swollen ankles, not a good condition, not life-threatening, but not going to be the Trump of old, and they're going to use this to backtrack out of a lot of problems. Tariffs may be putting companies out of business. So, he's pushing the tariff thing because the equity market is not reacting to it. But this is not exactly the path to popularity. Okay. U.S. assessment, the risk in crypto, to be honest, the risk in crypto is geopolitical. So if you want to take money off the table after I discuss the GAN points in mid-July or maybe in late August, I don't blame you, but I don't think we're at that point yet. Okay, Cynthia Lummis. I can't believe Cynthia Lummis doesn't have steam coming out of her ears on the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. She is over it, right? And she's taking it out on Powell. She's taking it out on Powell, right? So the House is passing the crypto bills, making sure a federal CBDC ban is included. So they put that in the first bill just so they could get more out of the orange man, which, he was only too happy to give them because, again, 8% of his net worth is in crypto, and that's going to have to go through some privacy filter because he's going to be wildly you think he's unpopular now. Wait until he gets out of office. Okay. White House says they support a tax exemption for crypto transactions. Oh my God. Right. This is why the market's parabolic. This is why XRP, I think this is why XRP is up 15%. I mean, I know there are other reasons. I know the Eagle King came up with a whole bunch. There's a tweet in here somewhere about why XRP is just nuts, right? I don't care what the market cap is. It's too low. Same thing with ETH and definitely Solana. Instead of lending money to small businesses and American families, big banks are holding on to their capital and depositing it at the Fed, right? So it's basically big bank welfare because they've got bad positions that have gone bad. So does the Fed, right? The tightening cycle wrecked banks, and the Fed is effectively paying out welfare. And, you know, if any new person comes in, you're going to find out how they make decisions, and you're going to want Bitcoin even more than you want it now. And the entire Web3 ecosystem. Trust me, you're going to wake up tomorrow morning and everyone's going to be like, gee, anyone want to do Web3? I think the market is trading Web3. It's like, dude, oh my God. Okay, Orange Man short Bitcoin. The U.S. appears to have sold 85% of its Bitcoin. If this is true, can you imagine what's going on in Fort Knox? I have no idea what's going on with this. Maybe Michael Saylor made a deal with the Orange Man. But as of now, MicroStrategy is the Bitcoin strategic reserve. Glassnode proprietary alt season indicator fired off on July 9th. I love Glassnode. You can go back and really retrospectively justify any type of market view, which is in some ways it's good, right? But you know, it's sector season, because that's what Toby would call it, right? Toby's like, get off alt season, get the sector season. If you think about it as sector season, you can make different kinds of decisions. Naturally, that is what we do in the YouTube member area. BlackRock just will not stop hoovering up the Ethereum ETF. Big players, big mutual funds are going to want it. They're building inventory. Okay, so here is the alt season indicator, even though, you know, I just said that we're not having that. So phase 1, Bitcoin. Phase 2, ETH. Phase 3, large caps. I think ETH and large caps are going at the same time. Or phase 2 is XRP. Phase 2 is really XRP because it's got the narrative, right? ETH used to have the narrative with DeFi and NFTs and all that stuff. The narrative is XRP. And I'm not catering to the XRP Army. It's obvious. It's obvious because it's very Wall Street TradFi related, right? So it's XRP, then Ethereum and Solana. Okay, then it gets wild. And the way it gets wild is people go after the memes and they go after the tech. They go after AI, because I don't understand why anybody thinks the AI trade in crypto is over, right? It's not over. It's not even close to being over. Do you realize that $1 billion worth of shorts gets liquidated if ETH pumps 10%? We went over this yesterday. This is gradually, then suddenly. Everyone's trying to tell me that this is over. I saw some thumbnail on YouTube, some guy trying to get attention about take profits. I'm like, okay, man, you can pay yourself. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. People have trading profits. You pay yourself. But you got to be kidding on this. I mean, ETH, there's nothing that's going to stop that thing. Nothing. Because historically, and as I've said, when it goes, it's a total freight train. And we have not seen that yet because people lived through 6 months of awful price action that when they bought strength, they got hosed. And I understand that. I get it. Trust me, I had a broadcast through that type of market price sludge. So I know and I get it. But the reason I shout into this microphone is because I would not let my guys in Patreon, and Toby, who is more soft-spoken, would not let people get negative. She was like, shop, shop, shop. Big show tomorrow, 8 a.m., 9 a.m. Eastern. Don't miss Toby, right, with a partial victory lap and getting busy on small altcoins. So tomorrow I'm going to try to bring the Gann model together with Toby, right, to absolutely blow your mind. ETH post-record 726 million daily inflows. You know what? Let me tell you something. The Federal Reserve, Uncle Sugar, they flossed their teeth with 700 million. They flossed their teeth. It's nothing, right? This hasn't even started. You have a U.S. stock market that's bigger than most stock markets put together, right? When they start coming out of that and they're looking for outsized returns, what choices do they have? They have the XRP futures contract. They have a Solana contract, I believe. They have a Solana ETF, which is like super dinky, right? It's like the whole world of TradFi is going to be coming in to a very narrow component of crypto, which leads to a supply shock. Everyone's like, "Oh, the Bitcoin supply shock." And of course, what I've been saying is the altcoin supply shock. Okay, Genius Act, right? Senate, House, White House, Coinbase. They even got their act together with the Base wallet. Finally, Coinbase wallet is now the Base app. Wow. That didn't take long. You know, finally their stock mooned. What it turns out, their stock mooned. And then they had to say, oh my God, how do we keep this going? Okay, let's get Base going. Let's get it going. That's exactly what happened. I mean, this is the BlackRock ETH accumulation. XRP surpasses 190 billion. Ooh, 190 billion. What? 190 billion? Are you kidding me? That's kind of a medium-sized day trading change in Magnificent Seven stocks. Nvidia swung 1.6 trillion during the May-June tariff gymnastics. 190 billion for fast American money? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? See, this is what the XRP crowd should be looking at. They should be looking at Ripple, the takeover prospects, the IPO prospects, and the fact that, you know, again, the centralized nature of Ripple means that if anybody comes in and buys this stuff, they get a huge chunk of the supply. They don't have to do an XRP reserve. They get it when they buy the company. Okay? There's more to Ripple than the XRP Army. Wow, they must watch the show. They must watch the show. Welcome to DAI Summer. Startups making rapid progress in building decentralized pre-training. Guess what? Guess what we got in the Patreon Platinum area? Guess what we got? We got DeFi AI, and it's been there for quite some time. Patreon Platinum, you click on collections, right? AI and DPIN update, right? All day long. DPIN layer 1 for the Eclipse. DeFi AI is one of the first ones we did. Single coin deep dive, AI low caps. Okay. Like, it is there. Like, if you don't know what to do, and that has actually got something, I'm not going to overdo it, but if you don't know what to do, there's the first thing in Patreon Platinum is, if you don't know what to do, start here, right? Just giving you kind of, not the basics, but, you know, one level up where you can be like, okay, this is where I can get started, because I know you got a lot of people kind of FOMOing in here. Semler Scientific becomes the 14th largest public Bitcoin company. So you have biotech companies, you have everybody trying to turn itself into the Bitcoin hedge fund. And here's what's really funny about bull markets. Here's what's really funny about bull markets. Everybody does the wrong trade. Okay. So what is everybody long? Everybody is long Bitcoin. Everybody. Now, that doesn't mean Bitcoin is necessarily going to fall apart. But when everybody is in one pool, the action is in another pool. This is why you could have altcoin sector season, July, August. The eclipse is in September. You know, once something starts into an eclipse, this is why you got to figure out the sector rotations. This is why you got to have research. We would appreciate it if you buy ours, but you got to have something, because you know what? This could accelerate for a couple of months. A couple of months, right? I mean, we discussed, I discussed it in an Ethereum price prediction video, which is on the site for free. Like, basically, hey, how do you want to trade this? But the mystery is, what are the levels? And then we're going to help you do it tactically. And it's obvious that the big coins are going up, but how do you figure out the small coins? Don't forget to stay tuned for PowerPoint, which is coming up soon. Now, on a trend that I refuse to get off, wearables trap, how government plans to monitor you. Oh, look at that. Okay. Right. The guy from Tornado Cash on trial. So some bad guys used it, and now it's his fault that he wrote the code. The simple fact of the matter is, and I had another headline here that, the big, beautiful bill. No regulation on AI, complete blank check for the surveillance state. It's happening. It's happening, right? An antivirus trades at a 4 million market cap. Here's the surveillance state. Big, beautiful bill, 2.5 billion for AI-powered surveillance, right? In other words, it was Make America Great Again, and now it's a deep state party. You got to care about you. Okay. Altcoin Overtime Part 1. So if you stuck around, continue to stick around because this is what you stuck around for. Total altcoin market cap. So total market cap without Bitcoin and Ethereum. And you'll notice that there's a giant candle, right, breaking through this massive share screen. Thank you. Total altcoin market cap. Total 3 is the symbol. A complex head and shoulders bottom, which is 3 attempts to suppress a market. It breaks out of this. The suppression fails. LuxAlgo inserts support, validating the... Oh, I'm not sharing screen. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Breakout of an upward sloping neckline. Now, this is at the LuxAlgo premium zone, and we are getting to the point where we may not care about that anymore. We may not. Bitcoin blew through its premium zone. We'll wait and see. What I do know is if you retest this line or you don't retest, if you retest and hold and don't go back below it, that's a giga bullish signal. If you just keep going, obviously, that's a giga bullish signal. Right now, all coins are worth 1 trillion and they can add 250 billion to their market cap. So that's got to be XRP and Solana. So if you add 100 billion to just XRP and Solana, you have a $5 XRP. I mean, somebody can do the math, but I mean, you look at this tape and you say, oh, well, it's up a lot. And you're like, is it? Is it? Okay. So XRP now up 16%, waving its hands in the air like it just doesn't care. There is Fibonacci circle resistance on the weekly chart. Okay. If we go to the daily, if we go to the daily chart with these lines, you can go 404 and 439. And what's amazing about this is that if you didn't know what this was, if I told you it wasn't XRP, you'd be like, oh, wow, yeah, a break out of a very frustrating sideways 6-month range. I mean, this is like technical analysis textbook, page 40. I mean, this can continue. And I will show you how to determine whether or not this can continue in the PowerPoint slides coming up. ETH, we discussed this. In many ways, that's as bullish as the diamond formation. And as you can see, there was almost no retest at all. None. Okay, if you start expanding this out to other altcoins. So a trend begins. It's called the setup phase. DeMark makes little numbers. It counts the trend, like 1 up day, 2 up day, 3 up day, out to 9. That's why the 9 is big, and you should get a counter trend pause. Wow, there's your counter trend pause in Avalanche. Down to a support point and right back. Down again, 2 up weeks. 2 up weeks. Are you going to get in front of this thing? XRP, like this is what it looks like, right? Up. This is your pitiful little tip. Boom. Like, people don't understand because, this is like an equities thing about leadership. Like, first it was SUI. Now, actually, first it was Bitcoin Cash, mysteriously. Then it was Bitcoin. Then it was SUI. Now it's XRP. And there's no sign of this stopping. None. 0. Like, if you look at a weekly chart, this was supposed to be the dip week. Maybe next week will be the dip week. Right? There's nothing to stop any of this. ETH, you never really got a dip. It just kind of went sideways. I mean, this is the sideways. This could be the sideways. And if you get a dip, in my opinion, it's a gift, particularly if it comes straight back. Seriously. I mean, if you look at ETH weekly, you know, you get a dip next week, maybe. But from what level, right? This is like blue sky until 4,100 in ETH, depending on how you do it. I mean, you know, people wanted to like this thing. This is Solana on a weekly chart. Rally? What rally? What rally? There's no rally here. And there's also no resistance on like a weekly chart. And how many times did they bang on this resistance at 132? You know, the end of the world, World War Z, 12 days, like the Cuban Missile Crisis. You know, run the stops over here in March. That was the tariff tantrum. This level around 180, and we've talked about this ad nauseum. And in PowerPoint, you know, Solana is going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. Speaking of PowerPoint, here comes the payoff for sticking around. Because I got some super fancy pattern match stuff. Now, normally, this is the kind of stuff that the Patreon VIP group gets. But because I'm a nice guy, I want you to see what we give people. I want you to see how we help people. You know, most people on social media, I've noticed, they get a lot of attention by kind of belittling their following. Like I saw something from Andrew Tate where he was like, yeah, you know, you got to be a tough guy and you got to get money. But that's not you. You're a loser. I'm like, okay, bro, that's great engagement farming, but we do research and belting into a microphone combined with a soft-spoken, you know, person who's got special abilities to pick small coins. That's just what we're doing here. Okay, so let's talk about XRP. So the blue graph that's XRP from the election Parabolic. And then the computer is making an automatic match. So I don't tell it what to match. I just say, give me the best XRP match over the last 180 days and show me what happened after. Okay. So the XRP Parabolic looks just like what happened after the election. So on one hand, you could say, okay, that's it. Sell, done. You could say that. But as I always say, what happens if this doesn't work? So if you had a gigabag of XRP, you could take some of the money. That's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is if XRP doesn't top, because that's what happened here. It was like, and then you realized all the stuff that you've been promised didn't happen. But now it's totally different because now you have catalysts. So my point with this graph is very simple. If you're supposed to get a top and you don't get one, you're going to get a parabolic. Like that's the money shot here. Tactical trading plan. So again, this is the type of stuff that we give, you know, both platinum and VIP. You know, 312 to 325 is the dip. Saturn in retrograde could be the big event. Upside range could be 388 to 415 by July 22nd. Stop loss 278. 415 by July 22nd. That's your parabolic. So this model doesn't know about this, right? So if it doesn't stop here, you could be talking about 415. And if you have $4 in something, I mean, you think you got FOMO in this market now. I mean, XRP at $3 is like, so what? That was interesting the first time up. When you start talking about $4, they're going to start talking about 6 or 8, right? You know, $179 billion. I mean, CIRCL was worth $70 billion. And CIRCL is just a stablecoin company. Now, Bitcoin also showing a similar topping signal. To me, this means there's going to be a lid on Bitcoin. The only way this kind of comes true is if you have a geopolitical event. But my read on this is that Bitcoin is basically done. Bitcoin could be done for months. Why? Because everyone's long. Everyone's doing the same trade. There's nothing wrong with Bitcoin. Uncle Sugar is short. Of course, it can go higher. You could have crazy price action. I'm not saying it doesn't, but I also think that there are signals that Bitcoin could stop. Now, Solana, oh my God. So the same 180-day period, the same period, right? Potential for up only. 150 floor for swing traders. The breakout zone is 180 to 183. The target is 194 to 208. Reassess at 208 for Solana. Nasdaq. Okay, if Nasdaq trades in a range like this blue graph, crypto equities are going to go insane. Okay, moving to member requests. Moving to member requests. Okay, we have STX. Okay, and frankly, with a lot of this stuff, like for example, STX is nowhere near its premium zone. This is Bitcoin layer 2. And honestly, what has this done? Nothing. Except made possibly the most bullish formation you can make, which is a diamond bottom. And I mean, now it's just exiting. You went through one of these things with ETH. And what? We're not going to have stuff built on top of Bitcoin? I mean, you got to remember something. Like, I actually don't remember what started DeFi summer back in 2019. I just know people were talking about MetaMask, Uniswap, Compound, and Chainlink mooned indiscriminately, and it was DeFi summer. I don't, you know. I guess it was a whisper of something that became something. You can look it up. Diamond bottom. Crazy. Insane. Insane what can transpire here. Gala Games. You know, this crypto bill and the taxation around gaming assets. I don't know, man. If you look at the daily chart, Toby's been picking gaming coins, saying it's the future. I mean, not exactly mooning at the moment. Whoops. Not exactly mooning at the moment, but isn't that the point? That there's stuff out there. I mean, this is just breaking out, right? This is Gala versus Tether. I mean, everyone looks at XRP up 15% and they think it's over. It's what over? What's over? This is just starting. You know, you have virtual. And you have to remember about virtual. Virtual was at 5 billion. Was at 5 billion. And if you just look at it on Binance, right? Virtual is now coming back above its 38% retracement of the last big spurt. And it's just sitting on top of that level, right? Breakout. What breakout? What breakout? This market hasn't done anything because no one believes it. And that's fine with me. That's fine with me. No one believes it. Omni. By the way, if you get obviously members get priority on comments. So you might want to think about that. There's ones where you get research and there's ones where you just get the emojis. Omni, right? Down ticking into support. It has not paid to sell support, and it has paid to buy just underneath resistance at 267. I see no reason to give up really on anything. If you believed it the first time, if you believed it, if you believe in it, you can stay with it. I mean, this is not investment advice. I mean, some stuff you're going to have to dump. Some stuff from the last cycle that didn't make it, all right, fine. But if there's something out there you believe in, then believe in yourself. Okay. So, all right. So let's just pretend, you know, maybe you want to get wild in CIRCL. All right. So I guess the question is, what happens if CIRCL gets wild, right? So you may remember hidden pivot analysis from back in the day. I think it's time to bring some of this back. Okay, so if the premium zones don't matter anymore, the max upside target in CIRCL is 407. Realistically, you could see 288. I mean, I don't know what stops crypto equities. Some of them are up 2%. I mean, they're up multiple days in a row. And I swear to God, if Galaxy comes back inside this formation, it's going to get wild. Stay tuned in Patreon and the YouTube member area, where we will be covering this on the Mother of All podcast tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern. If you don't have research, I would strongly suggest you get some. Because as I just demonstrated, rally? What rally? What rally? Right? And this is why we got our people loaded up. I mean, oh my God. You know, we took the list of 21 altcoins that we published for free. And then we said, all right, you know, we went to Patreon Platinum and we narrowed it down. And we gave some of those coins into the VIP area. And Toby hasn't been wrong about anything ever. Alert, altcoin picks you need to know now. 7 days ago. Right? Altcoin season signal. ETH and SOL pumping. ETH hasn't pumped fully yet. It's not over. It's absolutely not over. And frankly, let's say you're in a far off land and you don't have any money. One, subscribe to the channel. Okay. YouTube is effectively requiring me to go live from the YouTube Shorts feed. This may eventually turn into a 2 or 3 a day video process. The Shorts feed, you need notifications to find out about it. And if you got absolutely no money, there's an Ethereum price prediction. The Platinum group has got XRP, which is working out quite nicely. Thank you. And some shocking work in Bitcoin. That's in Platinum. So I did Ethereum to be nice so that you guys would have something. There's 21 coins for alt season from 2 weeks ago. If you don't know where to start and you don't have any money, okay. Don't talk yourself out of things that you like. You can pay yourself in highly speculative stuff, but if you believe in it, stay with it. This is like the Stan Druckenmiller zone. You may have to tolerate volatility. You know, when Saturn goes retrograde in the middle of the month, fine, right? You're going to have to tolerate something. Right now, what you're tolerating is the fear of missing out, but you haven't really missed anything. You haven't missed anything. You know, XRP is a difficult thing to get long, but the rest of it isn't. The rest of it isn't, particularly like the Solana and ETH universe, right? I mean, this is like you could throw a dart at a list of high quality coins, which, you know, we're going to be going over tomorrow. And the GAN model is going to be chewing on everything you can think of, right? I had it before the stream, but I got to give it to my guys and gals. Okay, people, that is the market update for today. We will see you tomorrow.